Everything is great. Everything is grand. I've got the whole wide world in the palm of my hand. Everything is perfect. It's falling into place. I can't seem to wipe this smile off my face. Life's a happy song when there's someone by your side to sing along.
Oh, well, folks, there's your daily affirmation. Is that by Kermit?
Yeah, no, it's not actually. It's by Walter the Muppet. And is it Stevenson? It's not Steven Seagal, is it? What's the other one?
Oh, Jason Segel.
Jason Seagal, yeah. It's by him. It's in the Muppets film from like 2011. Well, the whole point of that bit, listeners, was that Adam was meant to sing the other lyrics, but I started singing and Adam didn't know any of the lyrics, so you just got a little Alfie solo there. But
yeah, and wasn't it great? Hello and welcome to Movie on Up. It's episode 55.
we deserve each other, me and Bach.
Bark. Yes, a relevant film meme.
Well, we could sing Amelia Perez if you'd rather, but
No. I'm okay. Anyway, it's presented by me, Adam Barlow.
And me, Walter the Muppet.
Yeah. And we'll take no further questions on that.
Before we start, Adam, there was something I noticed about that Amelia Perez song, right? The one where she goes, "How very nice to meet you, I want to know about." And it's the way that she has to fit hello in there before she says that. And go away and listen to the clip, but she goes, "Hello, very nice to meet you. I want to know about exchange operation." It's really like edited in there. Clearly they've sped her up to fit it in.
Hello, very nice to meet you. Yeah, you're
Hello,
right.
very nice to meet you. I want to know about. Damn.
Yeah, you're
Well,
quite
this
right.
week on this musical only episode of Movie On Up.
No.
God, can you imagine?
I mean, how are you doing? I feel like it's a very sleepy Thursday evening. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, bit tired, bit fed up, bit skint, and it's only the 6th of February, so good start. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm getting paid tomorrow, so there's that. But in terms of film consumption, I'm doing very well because I've seen 4 films in the last 6 days, which I think is quite good going.
Yeah, that's like professional film reviewer level of watching film, so it is indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got a number of films to talk about today. 2 new ones that we've not discussed before, and then each of us have seen a film that the other person had seen, that we finally caught up on. Both Oscar-nominated Best Picture nominees. So that works out quite nicely. And of course, we had a big week actually for trailer drops. The Super Bowl's this Sunday, but yeah, loads of...
They've released all the trailers before it, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. 2 huge trailers dropping, that of course being for Fantastic Four First Steps and Jurassic World Rebirth. So we'll talk about those trailers first, shall we?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's talk about those trailers, because overall, mate, they've got us excited, haven't they?
They have. These are 2 films I was already looking forward to, but actually having the context for those movies, what they're going to look like, how they're going to feel, just seeing the hype of those first trailers, I'm really excited for this year. I think if you cut back to maybe a month ago and asked us what films are you excited for this year, I kind of struggled to maybe pick out more than 10. But actually, I've looked at lists of things coming out this year, and there's quite a lot, and we've got a big summer upcoming. Like that July month alone, we've got a run of Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman in the middle, and then Fantastic Four, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. The studios potentially are sort of dropping themselves in that there, because most standard people do not go to the cinema 3 times in a month, really. So I think people are going to pick favourites there, which is always a worry, because I think all 3 of those films are going to be potentially quite good and quite well deserving of a good box office, and I think a couple of them might not get it. Like, can you imagine all 3 of them being billion-dollar films. Not at all. So that is a bit of a worry, and I think there's a bad scheduling issue. But for someone like us who does go to the cinema every week, that is a great month, mate. Getting those 3 films all in a row.
It'll be interesting actually to see which one of those 3 films sort of wins July, because the average person, I'd say, maybe goes to the cinema once a month, if that. So if someone's only going to buy 1 ticket in July, I think there's a valid reason for each of those 3 to win, right? Because Fantastic Four is very highly anticipated. It looks great. It's got a stacked cast.
It's MCU. It's potentially the return of the MCU as well. People are branding it quite a lot as, wow, this is going to be a good one, which is always dangerous. But and also, yeah, you're right, stacked cast, and also, it's an MCU movie. Sorry, so it's just has that automatic appeal, and it's introducing a brand new team of superheroes that people love from the past. So that's, you're quite right. That's got a big reason. I'd say Jurassic World Rebirth, it has a huge following.
Yeah, it feels like maybe the safest bet for general audiences, because you don't need to be clued up on more technical superhero stuff. That really is, from what I can gather, a standalone thing. In fact, we'll talk about it more in detail when we talk about that trailer. But I do think it's strange that they're launching a new trilogy. I think with a gap shorter than the gap between the films in the last trilogy, so it feels a little bit out of whack. But
yeah, very true.
We will see about that one. But I think, just to generalise, I think that seems like the film that might do the best internationally, perhaps, away from Western audiences. And then Superman, of course, it's a reboot for the DC franchise, so in a way that's low stakes in terms of you don't need to have seen anything before going in. So I can see valid reasons for each.
You've got the addition of James Gunn there as well, which has a huge following now due to Guardians, who are probably the most sort of potentially they're like everyone's favourite. When you say name an MCU team or whatever, I think a lot of bog standard people would say the Guardians before they even say Avengers. Like my mum and dad have watched all 3 Guardians, but they haven't watched all the Avengers films. So I think James Gunn being part of that, and having from the creator of Guardians of the Galaxy all over the marketing, I think that's going to help it a lot. But you're right, it's exciting to see. Which one are you most looking forward to?
Oh, it's really tough to say. I think before the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer, it would have been a clear Fantastic Four all the way. But actually, that trailer did impress me, the Jurassic World one. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's toppled Fantastic Four, but it's definitely a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, for me, Fantastic Four First Steps is my most anticipated of those 3.
Yeah, I understand that fully. I think there's a bit of bias there as well, because we're both huge Jurassic Park fans. What's your opinion on Jurassic World? Sorry, I definitely asked you this, but I can't really remember.
Yeah, the first one's all right. The second one I don't really like that much, and the third one for me is the strongest. I enjoy that, but it's definitely the nostalgia bait of having the OG trilogy back, the OG trio return. I'm a sucker for Jeff Goldblum, as you can probably tell if you've listened to more than one episode here. Well, Jurassic World.
Ours the great and powerful.
Right this way. I've got the Oz of tomorrow.
Since we're talking about it, so Jurassic World Rebirth. Do you like the fact they've kept Jurassic World, or would you have rather something else?
That's a good question. I do think. I mean, it's hard to say, because I'm actually confused, and as someone who I think is a Jurassic World fan, I shouldn't be, but I do think this is an odd pitch. I'm not quite sure where it sits on the timeline or what characters are involved. As far as I can tell, no one from Jurassic World from that franchise is returning from that 2015 2022 series is coming back.
Luckily, my brother is all in on the Jurassic World park lore, and has even watched all the little animated TV shows. So he's told me that this film takes place after Dominion, and there are no longer any dinosaurs left on Earth because they all just died out due to the climate, which is really fucking boring. Since we spent 3 films trying to get dinosaurs. The thing is, though, we spent more than 3 films getting dinosaurs on mainland Earth, because the second Jurassic Park film is literally about building a zoo in like San Diego or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, like, we spent 5 films trying to get dinosaurs on standard American soil. They do it, and then they've all died because of they can't handle the heat or something, which is so boring. But yeah, from what I'm aware, there is 0 cast from Park or Jurassic World, which I think is good for now. I think it needs to be a clean slate.
Sure.
Because I think if you just get Chris Pratt in it and Bryce Dallas Howard, it just immediately just brings it full circle, and you end up having too many characters again. So I'm glad they got a clean slate, and it seems not low risk, because it's the plot of the trailer. They've said now is that they need to go there, get a sample of the DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs, which is a bit cliche, but I think it's a little, it's a bit more low stakes in the way that the only people who are at danger are Jonathan Bailey, ScarJo, and Mahershala Ali. But I like it. I think it looks good, mate. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, it's nice to see the Spinosaurus is back, and some raptors in there, Mosasaurus,
what about
stripy T-Rex.
What about the mutant that we've got going on? The very Darth Vader in the Tantive hallway style thing where Gareth Edwards has gone, you know that film I did? I'm going to copy it, but with a dinosaur this time. He literally got a man banging on the glass saying, "Let me out!"
The dinosaur ignites a lightsaber. It's like,
that's what the red light is, yeah.
Oh, it's Darth Rex.
Do you know what though? It's called I think it's called a D-Rex. So Darth Rex, yeah. It literally is called a D-Rex. I've seen that on the children's like toys that released, obviously. It's called D-Rex. Darth Rex.
Okay. Yeah, I think the thing I disliked about Jurassic World, and in fact this is a wider point about the way people approach dinosaur films in general. I don't know if you read the Variety article that came out with those clips. Oh, sorry, it had some of the shots from the trailer the day before the trailer came out. And they had interviews with some of the cast and with Gareth... I was going to say Gareth Southgate then. What's his surname? Gareth?
Edwards?
Edwards, yes, that's it, sorry. Gareth Southgate. Okay, team, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get a nice tight 11 and we're going to just score some goals and we're going to have some dinosaurs. That would be a film I'd watch. No, he was saying apparently dinosaurs aren't scary to modern audiences and we need to give them something that evokes that primal fear, right? But that's where I take issue, because actually the thing I disliked about the Jurassic World trilogy is whenever they did dip into the more sci-fi element of it, and I know it's very much in the DNA, pun intended, of Jurassic Park, but I do just like it being quote unquote accurate dinosaur representations. I think that's cool and interesting, and if you just frame a scene and block it nicely and pace it well, then you can make anything scary. It doesn't need to be some sort of essentially an alien. And in fact, this D-Rex looks like the D-Rex looks like an alien. It's got like that bulbous head and it's got the arms of the Rancor. I'm like, what's going on? Just give me a regular T-Rex and make that scary. It can still be done.
Yeah, I think the right way they did it was with the Indominus Rex in the first Jurassic World. I think that was just the right amount of messing with a dinosaur, giving it frog DNA here, giving it chameleon DNA here, giving it raptor DNA here, and giving it like extra skills and souping it up almost. I think that was the right level. I then think it went so silly with the latter two, with Dominion and stuff. But yeah, I'm a bit worried. I saw a tweet saying that it feels like Gareth Edwards just wanted to put a Rancor in Rogue One, but couldn't fit it in, so instead he decided to put it in the Jurassic Park film, which I kind of get. But yeah, you're right. The messing with the DNA is in the DNA of the original films, and the original plot for Jurassic Park 3 was human dinosaur hybrids. So I recommend having a look at that, because the artwork for it is disgusting. It's like really messed up human heads on dinosaurs and shit, which is quite fun. But it's so over the top that yeah, I'm with you. I'd rather just have a really scary T-Rex or raptor pack chasing a group around the island. But I'm open to it and I'm excited for this film.
Yeah. If they ever do go like the full hog and have human dinosaur hybrids, I'll stop watching it. I just don't. That's not what I watch these films for. I watch it for the dinosaurs, not for the stupid like, it's not a monster film. Do you know what I mean? I mean it is, but the monster is already the dinosaurs. You don't need to then create, because then that's not Jurassic Park. That's just something else. And I, for one, have no interest in that. But there we are. I'm sure there's an audience for it. Fantastic Four first steps though. We've got Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, and Joseph Quinn.
Yeah.
I think they all look excellent. Joseph Quinn maybe suffering from having the most to live up to in the previous installments. I think, following Chris Evans, especially as we've just seen him last year in Deadpool and Wolverine, and a reminder of how great that character was and how funny Chris Evans can be. Like, that is, to me, pretty, textbook Johnny Storm. Yeah. So I don't know how well Joseph Quinn will tackle it, but I've liked Joseph Quinn in everything else I've seen, and he's got range, so I do believe in him. But I know some people aren't on board with that casting choice. As for Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, I think they're great. No issues there at all. Again, people have taken issue with Pedro Pascal just because of overexposure, but I mean, he's overexposed for a reason. We've got to remember that. And actually, I'd argue, is he that overexposed? Yeah, he did a lot of press stuff, but I think he had a quiet year last year in comparison. He was in Gladiator, but only in a supporting role. Yeah, he's in The Mandalorian and he does the press for that, but then you don't see him in that. He just does the voice, and even then it's tampered with. So
and not him like, most of the time.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, the last time we actually saw him in a substantial role was The Last of Us, and that was the start of 2023.
Yeah,
so.
I think you're spot on there. I don't think Joseph Quinn is overexposed either. I think it's just the overexposure of like TikTok and stuff. Just press tours and TikTok make you think they're overexposed. But name the Joseph Quinn projects: Stranger Things, Gladiator 2,
A Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's really not that much. So I think it's mainly just a sort of a TikTok thing, which is a shame. But yeah, I think they look great. I think Vanessa Kirby looks really good. And I love what they've done with her powers by making them like interact with the like spectrum of light rather than just making her invisible. I think that's really fun. And then my only worry, with the Johnny Storm, is that they're going to make him too much like Peter Parker, where he's going to be more nerdy. I think Johnny Storm is very much sort of cocky. What's the American, like, frat almost, like, and Chris Evans plays that so well in the original films that I think that gives him the most to live up to. But I think he's the only one who's fairly fondly looked at. I don't think any of the others are that sort of renowned, really. And I love the new design of the Thing. And I've seen a lot of people hating on the CGI of it, but I think it looked really good and looked like it was practical. They looked like they'd done the Grogu thing and made the CGI look real. And I thought it looked really good, but I saw everyone hating on it, so I'm not too sure if that's just me. But
we're in such a futile time for the MCU fan base, and it's a bit of a echo chamber, I think, for people just ranting about anything. I mean, that little teaser the day before where it had that little soundbite of kids laughing, people were up in arms about that. I mean, same thing with that Superman clip of him flying. I thought it looked fine. Like, it's only because you've rewatched it 30 times because you're excited for the film, and then you start to realise, oh, hang on a minute, his eyes are out of one.
You just overanalyze it.
like,
yeah.
Yeah, but if you're looking straight up and like through your eyebrows, yeah, your eyes would do that. So just get off your high horse.
Yeah.
Dear
yeah, spot on. I think this is the first MCU film that I am actually excited for, like fully looking forward to, since I don't even know, probably that last Spider-Man.
Yeah, I back that. It's got the most hype. Don't get me wrong, I've been, very much willing to see other MCU films. Like Deadpool and Wolverine, I was like, yeah, I'll see it, absolutely. But I wasn't myself all that hyped because I'm not a massive fan of Wolverine and I'm not a huge fan of the X-Men. But yeah, you're right. The Fantastic Four, I think just seeing that cast tackle such an iconic set of characters, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, if they get that film right, it will be top tier MCU, like top five.
They're really going
films.
for like Brad Bird's Incredibles there as well, like the style, the 60s style, because obviously the Incredibles is set in that weird, it's obviously set in the 60s but it's also not, and this is set in the 60s, and you've got the cars shaped like that, and you've got the you said when the lens flare happens, you sent me a clip, and you can see the dust on the screen of the camera, and it's what is that? Why am I excited about that? But I love it. I think it's cool, and it adds realism to it, and it makes it feel real, not sort of just a shitty, not an overproduced kind of thing. It looks real and looks like there's practical stuff going on, and yeah, the aesthetic of it is lovely, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Brilliant, yeah. And Ralph Ineson as well in there as Galactus. You just see the back of his helmet, but oh my goodness.
His voice.
Very exciting.
His voice is going to be great as Galactus. I hope they do not edit it one bit. I hope you just have his voice, because he's born to play a role like that. Like, it's so cool.
He just does his Nosferatu line. Goodness me, man. Why on earth did you do that? Remember, you are one. Should we talk about the substance, which
Control yourself.
Yeah. Control yourself.
Snubbed for an Oscar nom, she was. Margaret Qualley, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Jurassic as well, you want your Jurassic what was it? Jurassic cooking or something?
Yeah. Adam has been and watched The Substance. It's the one Oscar film that he sort of shied away from, let's say, because it is most definitely horror, and it's body horror at that, and that is something that Adam really isn't great with. But you sat down and watched it, and go on, tell us your opinions.
You know when you can preview on the runtime as you sort of move your mouse over the duration, I kept sort of scrubbing along, just seeing, okay, what's about to happen, okay, I can hack that. And I was like, if there's ever anything that looks really bad in that small picture at the bottom, I might just, take a break or move somewhere that's more lively with the family if there's someone in the other end of the room or something. But no, other than that first transformation, and actually kind of the transformation at the end, I think was a bit bloody creepy, especially with those eyes like fighting for control. Ooh, horrible. Because I wouldn't say I don't know, am I squeamish? Not massively, but I don't like the thought of any of it. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit of a tough watch to get through, but yeah, I could have done without the last 25 minutes. If you've seen the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I think it's fun, but also properly disgusting, and I can't look at women in the same way. The Substance turned me gay, people. No, it's really, seeing someone puke up a boob was not on my 2025 bingo list, but there we are. Or does it drop out of our eye socket? I don't even remember. I don't want to think about it. That aside, what did particularly make the experience worth it for me, and I didn't love the film, but I appreciate its merits, and I overall have positive feelings towards it, which I think is nice, because I did go in with real reservations. But I really like the scene where they're beating each other up, or in fact, no, just before then, when regular Demi Moore, regular Elizabeth Sparkle is about to kill off Sue. Yeah, terminate Sue and stop the experience. Surprised it took her that long to do that, but there we are. And she's about to do it, and then kind of stops herself, and she's like, no, I need you, you're the best part of me, or something. I actually thought that was really, like, that really got me. I was like, damn, that's emotional, that is sad. And I felt really sad for both of the characters, actually, the whole way through. And again, when I guess, spoilers, but it's been out for a few months, so...
Yeah, go for it, because I'm going to spill Conclave.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. The bit where, she's beating Elizabeth Sparkle to a pulp, and she's, like, it's almost in slow motion, and just blood is getting splattered everywhere, like, it's to an absurd degree. And then she just, like, looks at her hands and looks down, and she starts crying, and, like, the tear sort of cuts through the blood on her face. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I was surprised, like, I knew, it's as clear as day, it's a metaphor for body image, but I mean, it's anything but subtle. So yeah, I didn't think that it would get me. I thought, oh, it's too obvious, it's too sort of face value, it's too grotesque and loud about its message. But actually it did really get me, and I did find it to be quite sad, and I was very engaged with it, actually, more so than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That was my issue watching it the first time, was I wasn't sure if it was trying to say something else, because it's so on the nose of what it's trying to say. And then upon thinking about it and then watching it again, I was like, oh no, there's no underlying message here. It really is just fully presenting everything on its sleeve kind of thing. And I think that scene in particular, I think when she starts to get really bitter, like the scene where she's cooking and she's watching her on the TV, and then the scene where they try to kill each other, I think that's when you can really tell why she's been nominated for that Oscar. I think that's where you can see that nomination. But I'm glad you liked it, because it's definitely a film that's not in your remit usually. And now, for a very similar film, you need to go watch The Fly. Cronenberg's The Fly of Jeff Goldblum, because if you can manage this, you can manage The Fly. And it's Jeff Goldblum, and it's very much the same film. Like, it's clearly very, very based on it.
I suppose so. That and The Shining.
I'm glad you liked it. Conclave. I watched that at the cinema yesterday. I managed to catch that at 2:00 showing, which was nice because I did want to see it on a big screen. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. I think I went into it with quite high expectations because I'd seen the Oscar buzz, I'd seen all the press around it, I'd seen the Oscar noms, I'd seen shots of it, the trailers, everything had made me think I was going to give this film 4.5, 5 stars. And I gave it 3.5 on Letterboxd, which might be a bit harsh, but I think it's shot beautifully, and something I absolutely loved was the juxtaposition of classical, like, Catholicism in their outfits with modern day technology. Every time one of them was smoking a vape, every time one of them used a computer, every time one of them was on an iPhone at one point with a red case on, like, stuff like that, like, cinematically just made me go, this is so cool, and I loved it. I think that's really a fun thing to play with. And even when they were, like, smoking in the courtyard, it just was like, I just love the juxtaposition, isn't it, of seeing something that's regarded as holy and so sacred, and then seeing them interact with stuff that is sinful or very modern. And yeah, I really love that. And obviously the shots of it are phenomenal. The scene where they've all got the umbrellas and John Lithgow's is the only one without the umbrella. It's a little, I guess that one's a bit on the nose, but stuff like that was like, yeah, wow, I see why this has been nominated. But my only thing was, I thought the bomb, so yeah, spoilers, I thought the car bomb and all the behind the scenes plotting was going to have more of a payoff. It kind of didn't didn't really affect. Like, it obviously did affect it because that's who became Pope, but it just was like, I thought there was going to be something much grander. I thought that the main competitor, I can't remember his name, the cardinal who was basically gonna win. I thought like it was gonna, I don't know, reveal that he had organised the car bomb or something. I just had much more sinister expectations. I thought there was going to be some grand reveal of a real deep plot, and it kind of didn't. So I was a little disappointed, and that's on me maybe for expecting that. And I did not guess that the Pope who won was going to be like intersex. I did not guess that at all, and I'm glad I didn't have that spoiled for me either, because that was a nice reveal in the last 10 minutes. I was like, oh damn, didn't expect that. But once again, it didn't really have any impact. But no, overall, I did like the film, but just not as impactful on me as I thought it might have been.
I think I felt very similarly to it as you do, in the fact that it's just, I'd struggle to give it 5 stars. I really would, just because I don't think it's quite got something that really is like a gut punch, or really like, pulls the carpet from under my feet. I don't know, it didn't quite get me in any profound way, I don't think, and I haven't thought about it much since, only because I keep seeing the word pop up on lists of nominees. But don't get me wrong, Ralph Fiennes is great, but I don't know if you found the breathiness and the sort of thoughtfulness of it a little bit irritating to a degree.
Yeah, I think I found the other cardinals more interesting and their performances more intriguing. Like John Lithgow, he wasn't in it that much, but I think his was way more intriguing. I think Stanley Tucci's was great, actually. I thought he was really cool. It was like a more liberal cardinal. I don't know the actors. I'll Google it now.
Also, Isabella Rossellini, who plays Sister Agnes, that sort of nun that's in the whole situation, she has a handful of lines. I don't get her Oscar nom at all.
No, I don't either. The one scene where she stands up to the cardinals, that's it. So the cardinal played by Sergio Castellito. What was his cardinal name? Tedesco. Yeah, that was it. Tedesco. So I thought he was great, and I would have liked more of him. The really like traditionalist one, the Tedesco, the main competitor, the one who they thought was going to win. I would have loved him to have been in it more, because I think he was great. And I think all of them, they were all great, and I get why Ralph Fiennes has been nominated, but I preferred everyone else's performance to Ralph Fiennes' performance.
Sure, yeah. I think if he gets it, it'll be more one of those career,
prestige sort
of ones. Yeah, like, oh, you've done this body of work over this many years. Here's a decent role that we can pass off and give you an
the
Oscar
Leo
for.
DiCaprio one, right? Leonardo DiCaprio one, where he got it for The Revenant or whatever.
But it makes me think, have you now seen... Oh, no, you've not seen A Complete Unknown, have you? But have you now seen, like, 8 out of 10? You must be close to seeing all the nominees.
Yeah.
Because I think if I've got to look back and be like, okay, what's the top 3 there? I think Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
I do think A Complete Unknown, actually. The more I've sat with that since my review, I think I was positive on it, but I don't think I gushed about it, really. I've been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan's, Timothée Chalamet singing Bob Dylan since. And actually, you know what? I think there's a sort of indescribable warmth and real friendliness and kindness and optimism to that film that I do really like. And it's beautifully shot. So cozy. And then what else? Possibly Wicked, just because I had such a good time with that. But I'm trying to think what else is on the list. Like,
well, so we've got Amelia Perez, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Nickel Boys, I'm Still Here, The Substance, Dune Part 2, Wicked, and Nora, Brutalist. I haven't seen I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, and Complete Unknown. So I'm still missing 3 of them, which I will get to. But yeah,
and
now
I do need to rewatch Nora, I think.
People love it. I remember liking it, but I don't think I
Did
was.
did you see Anora? Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, quite late though. I didn't catch it when it was in the cinema. I caught it on home video. What am I? 100 home video. I rented it at Blockbuster. I got the trailer for I'm Still Here before Conclave yesterday.
Oh yeah,
which
I
is
haven't
this
even seen that.
Brazilian one. It looks quite Oscar baity, and I'm sure it's very good. But yeah, I mean, I'll catch them all. But genuinely, of all of those so far, I'd love the Substance to win. It won't win. I'd love it to win, like just for horror itself more than anything, for horror and for Demi Moore. I'd rather the Brutalist win over Conclave. The Brutalist engaged me way more than Conclave did.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting. Such an odd year. Again, we keep saying it, but anyway, we'll move on from that. Let's talk about some films we haven't discussed on the podcast yet. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with 2 brand spanking new reviews.
Prepare your ears for some sweet, seductive tones of Adam Barlow now, because he's going to review 2 films for us. The first film he's going to review is September 5. Take it away, Adam.
Sure thing. So coming in at a hot 1 hour 35 minute runtime. Ooh, Tom Cruise is out there cheering. 95 minutes, yeah, close enough. Tom Cruise with the box, why not? We'll take that all day. September 5 is
Tom Cruise in his Doc Martens.
Yeah. Tom Cruise in his stilettos. Which he has, trust me. No, anyway, right, serious film. September 5 is a lock-in, basically, from the perspective of the ABC Sports News team, who are covering the 1972 Munich Olympics in Germany. And for a bit of context, this Olympics was a real chance for Germany to show that, you know, they've improved as a culture and they're a friendly nation and they're ready to welcome the world back in and they don't want anything to go wrong. And lo and behold, a group of Palestinian terrorists break in and take some of the Israeli sports team hostage.
Very apt timing for this film to come out as well. My God.
Yes, yeah, and that is the main contention that a lot of people have had with this, is that it's apolitical, much in the same way that Civil War was last year. And they're like, well, hang on a minute. At the moment, Israelis are they're in the wrong or whatever. It's a lot of finger pointing, and I don't want to get involved. So here's just a review of September 5 and what's presented to me. So yeah. Very tense, very gripping, very small cast, very small location. I think the camera steps outside of the office, outside of the gallery and the control room, maybe 2 or 3 times. But I thought it was very good. It's a lot of handheld cinematography. Sound design is great, very fast-paced editing, and I thought the script was really good. There's some jokes in here that really land. Like, I found myself chuckling. It's sort of people being quite snarky with each other. Lots of phone calls trying to fight over airtime. It's at a time where it's live coverage for the first time, live coverage in colour of a huge sporting event, on top of the context of it being set in Germany, and the German officials are trying to sort of sweep stuff under the carpet, not in a malicious way, but in a way that they want to protect their country.
In the way that they just committed
image.
a world war, yeah.
Well, exactly, yeah.
They're like, right.
They've got a bit of a guilty conscience.
This isn't us, we promise.
Yeah, literally. And I didn't know anything about the outcome of this terrorist attack going in, and I think if you don't know what happens at the end, don't look it up until you've seen it, because I found it to be incredibly engaging. And I don't think it's a perfect film. It's not the best film of all time or anything. But for 95 minutes, I can gleefully say I was, sat on the edge of my seat, leaning forward. And a huge part of my enjoyment of this is being that, we've done a journalism course. So seeing the meticulous, really, labour-heavy processes that went into just producing a news bulletin and, getting stuff onto TV screens is crazy to see. I mean, I feel bad complaining about anything I have to do in the gallery now, because they need to run around with actual physical tapes, and to edit they need to snip stuff up. To put text on the screen they need to carve out letters and arrange them and then superimpose it onto an image. Whereas now we can just go on Premiere Pro.
Premiere Pro and press Aston, yeah.
It's crazy. I really recommend that you go see this, man, because I think you'd enjoy it. Yeah, small cast, as I say. Who's in it? You've got the guy who plays the DP, I think, in the Batman, Peter Sarsgaard. John Magaro in here is sort of the main guy. Jeffrey Mason, he's excellent. Leonie Benesch, who's the only person in the office in the gallery that can speak German. She's the translator there, so she's sent out at one point to the shootout towards the end of the film to get some coverage. Ben Chaplin's in there as well, and yeah, like sort of 3 or 4 other names here, and that's kind of about it really. People come and go, but yeah, for the most part it's that main set of 4 characters, and man, they do a great job. They also effectively splice in actual footage of the broadcast and of the images that were there. I don't think recreate anything. Like for example, the guy who was hosting the show, who was doing the sports commentary and was a prestigious broadcaster, whose name has escaped me. They get someone to kind of wear a wig, and there's a few shots of him behind and like his arm reaching out to get paper and a script and stuff. But actually, when it cuts back and it's in the gallery, or it zooms in on a screen and it's him presenting, it is the actual broadcast that was going out, and you can find it on YouTube, and it's fascinating. But man, I thought it was a really very interesting, tightly wound, engaging film. I was really impressed. I loved seeing the tech behind it in a similar way that Saturday Night offered that last month. Yeah, you've got September 5 here, set 3 years before the Saturday Night film, but I was like, this is basically the same era, and I think it kind of works as a weird double bill. So if you wanted to see a really heavy terrorist attack and then a light-hearted SNL sketch, then this is the thing for you. I really liked it. Thought it was good.
I think you're right there with you obviously appreciated it more doing journalism as a whole degree, and I think I would as well, being the same. I've only seen the trailer once or twice. I haven't heard much about it, but it's got really good reviews as well. It's got some great reviews, and its current IMDb is 7.2, and Rotten Tomatoes is 92%. So clearly got some fans, and it's really intriguing. The trailer seemed tense, so I can't even imagine what the film's like. But it does look good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, some great discussions in there about journalistic morals and what we can and can't broadcast, because part of the fun, I say that loosely, it's a very serious thing, but part of the fun of watching it is kind of imagining yourself like, well, what would you do? And also because it's the sports news team, they're actually not trained or equipped to tell these hard-hitting stories. They're kind of shooting it as though it's like a sports match, and they're like getting close on that shot, just broadcast it, get the footage out there. But actually, you've got to be more tentative with it. You've got to be more relaxed, and you've got to wait until with commentary, you've got to be quick. But with news, you've got to check the facts and get verification from like 3 or 4 sources, because there's a moment in this film where they announce something that they're not 100% sure is accurate, but they're like, well, no, we need to get that news out there first. And then other people in the newsroom are like, no, wait, just double check that's true, because that's really impactful if it isn't. And I won't say any more, but it's well worth a watch. And at 95 minutes, you can't really go wrong.
We've got another review for you here. Hard Truths. This was not Simon Mayo. What's the other one called? Mark Commode's big Oscar snub that he said is that Marianne Jean-Baptiste should have got an Oscar nom for this role. So this will be exciting to hear what you've got to say. Yeah, take it away, Adam. This is Hard Truths.
It's worth saying Marianne Jean-Baptiste got a BAFTA nod. So she is definitely within the discussion in awards season. But yeah, this film is about a sort of middle-aged woman named Pansy who is very angry, kind of just blurts out anything and everything that comes into her mind. She just lashes out at anyone. She's a, customer service's worst nightmare. There's several scenes in this film where she's just completely snapping at people that are just doing their jobs, and it's kind of cringy to watch, and you're like, oh my god, don't do that. There's some really funny interactions, but also it's, for the most part, like, oh god, stop, make it stop. Not a reflection of the film's quality, though, I must add. Yeah, so she's got a husband who's very quiet, I would say seems very autistic. Son, again, almost mute in this film, who just doesn't appear to have a job. He kind of goes off on these walks that are a bit mysterious, not really fully explained until the end. He just always has his headphones on, or he's clearly got an obsession with planes, so I would, again, say perhaps a bit of autism, Asperger's in there. The film doesn't directly say any of it, but I think just as someone who knows some of the symptoms of those things, probably the case. He's always just playing video games and kind of avoids any conflict in the house, and always goes to his room and doesn't really engage in any discussions. Pansy, as a result, feels very lonely. Again, that makes her depression worse. She spends a lot of time sleeping, and whenever she's woken up from sleeping, she is really startled, and she's always like ready to almost fight off whoever it is that's woken her up, and is almost like she's just always having a nightmare whenever she's sleeping. And then you've also got in the cast wonderful performance from Michelle Austen, I think it is, who plays her sister Chantal, who runs a hairdresser's, and I believe she's got two daughters, played by Sophia Brown and Samantha. Oh no, hang on, who was it? Yeah, Sophia Brown and Annie Nelson, I think it is, that plays the two sisters. I could be wrong. Anyway, again, quite a small cast like September 5, but small runtime as well, I should mention. 97 minutes, so 2 minutes longer, but it goes by fairly quick. The scenes are quite slowly paced at times. There's lots of lingering shots and moments of silence, or moments of deep introspection, I suppose, that kind of punctuate these moments of outbursts from Pansy. And, for the most part, I think I had a good time with this film. It does make me laugh. Some people have said it's hilarious. I don't know if I'd go that far. Got some good chuckles. There's definitely one scene in here in a car park that really had me, like, holding my stomach with laughter. And I think there's one very obvious scene, not at the end, but kind of 3/4 of the way through, that's like, yeah, that's why she's been nominated for the BAFTA, and probably why she should be nominated for an Oscar. I thought it was a very powerful scene where basically she lets her guard down, and her real, the hard truths of admitting that she's not doing well kind of comes to the forefront, and that I thought was really good and worth the price of admission. It ends on a very interesting note, actually. You're kind of expecting this film to ramp up, and after that scene you're like, okay, they're going to try and resolve this now, because clearly something's not working. And actually it kind of doesn't. Like it ends on a very hazy, thought-provoking ending, where it's like, yeah, life doesn't really sort itself out, and not everything has, like a 3-step plan fix. Sometimes you've just got to be like, okay, we've acknowledged it, and that's the best we can do for now. I don't want to spoil it, but I thought it was a very interesting film. Worth mentioning, actually, it's also the best representation of post-lockdown dialogue I think I've seen in a film. Like, probably the most modern script since Rye Lane. In the fact, like, the two young sisters and the mum actually have this wonderful dynamic, and the discussions they have, and the way they go to work, and the way their whole lives play out, because it's kind of a slice of life of this whole family, really. The way that all happens is very, very 2025, I thought. Like, one of them's got a huge water bottle. I'm like, oh my god, that's like a trend that's 3 months old. It's very current. And from a director who is, let me get his name, Mike Leigh. I've not seen any of his other films, I don't believe, but this guy is 81 years of age. Wow. And for him, he wrote and directed it. And I think, like, hats off, because you wouldn't expect a script this tight and this current and quippy, not quippy, sorry, but this true to life, to come from someone that's of that age, or at least I wouldn't. So I was very impressed. So hats off to you, Mike Leigh. Very, very good screenplay here. And I enjoyed it for the most part. I don't think I'm absolutely head over heels with it like other people are. You know, there's some very positive reviews out there. But I think, yeah, Marianne Jean-Baptiste, probably deserving of an Oscar nomination for sure. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's not always the easiest of watches. It is sad and it's very slow and thoughtful. But for what it is, I found it to be very nourishing.
When I saw this in the cinema, that was the vibe that it gave, was Rye Lane. And obviously it's not like that, but just in the way the setting of the London setting and the colour palette and stuff really gave me that vibe. And it's nice to hear you bring that up again, because that was like an underrated little sort of gem of good cinema. Was that last year? Maybe
2023, I think.
Yeah, maybe the year before. And yeah, the trailer for this always gets laughs in the cinema when I've seen it a couple of times now. And it does look good. And yeah, like I said, with Mark Commode saying he thinks that Marianne Jean-Baptiste should have been nominated for an Oscar for this, clearly shows that it's got some gravitas, and the representation of depression and stuff is very real. And the runtime's nice for both of these films that you've spoken about. It's nice that they are 90-ish minutes, sort of, once you take away the credits and stuff, because there's some mega long films out at the moment. So it's nice to have a film that you can nip in and only have to spend 2 hours at the cinema rather than 4. But yeah, this is one that I'm going to catch because I heard a lot of good things.
So we've spoken about 3 of the 4 films I've seen so far this month. The 4th one was a rewatch of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 because, my God, it's a bloody good time at the cinema, mate. It's absolutely a crowd pleaser. And someone who shares that opinion is your brother, Alfie Walker, who went to see it.
It is indeed.
A couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. So we didn't read this out last week, mainly because I think we spoke about The Brutalist, which was a whole episode in itself. If you haven't listened to that, check that out. That's episode 54, probably. But yeah, Lenny's emailed in. Hey, Moving Up team, it's me again for like the 3rd week in a row. Today I'm here with a review of Sonic 3. I won't ramble as much as usual, but however, I would like to mention that before the film started, an advertisement for Roblox played, and I just thought that was very odd.
Oh, what?
Yeah, right. Did you get a Roblox ad before Sonic 3?
I can't say I did. I did get an ad for you know how sometimes they produce up an ad like after they've done the whole, this is the format you're seeing it, these are the speakers from inside your head and in your chest and stuff like that. And then it plays an advert that's normally Chris Evans floating above a car.
Yeah.
Well, this one, the sort of main flagship advert was for something like Actimel that are doing Sonic tie-in branding on their bottles. Like, okay, like, and now you could. Is some woman going, and now you could join in the fun with new Actimel with Sonic characters. Collect them all. Like some kid out there is going to collect Actimel bottles with their favourite Sonic characters.
For like women in their 50s who need good gut health. What is that about? That is not the right target audience.
Crazy.
Also, while we're speaking about that, I'll mention this. They have gotten rid of Daniel Kaluuya at The View, because he used to pop up on the cinema and go, "Hey, you blood, yeah." He used to chat to you, like he used to be like, "Hey, did that scare you? Yeah, these speakers are good, innit?" You always used to get Daniel Kaluuya doing that before, but they've gotten rid of him now. He doesn't pop up anymore.
Really? Who have they got instead?
No one at all.
Wow, that's
gutting. I used to love it. He used to just pop up, get a bit of him.
Don't they know who he is? He's got a statue in Leicester Square.
Yeah,
put some respect on my man Daniel Kaluuya's name. That's crazy. I think we've still got Taron Egerton at the Odeon.
What does he voice at the Odeon?
He does the well, you know they used to have that guy that's on TikTok. He's the voice actor with like glasses and sort of
the wizard.
ginger,
Yeah.
sort of swept back hair. Yeah, Taron Egerton basically did his exact same lines, and in such a similar way, I almost didn't think it was anyone new. I just thought it was a re-recording. So I thought that was always a bit pointless. But yeah, it's still Taron Egerton just saying sort of the cliche, okay, now it's time for the trailers. It's the best part. And all specially chosen for this age rating film. Like that.
Oh, that is a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
No, I used to love my... You used to go,
Boo.
did that get you?
Who would you like to have? Because I know Cineworld had Jeff Goldblum.
No way.
Go out to the foyer like that. Only for Wicked though.
That honestly, I think cinemas should embrace this more, because I think it's really quite charming, and you could get so many different actors to do all these like little speaking before like telling you to turn your phone off and stuff. It'd be so cool.
Have it on rotation. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be anything grand, you know. But Taron Egerton, bless his heart, you know, love his work, but I don't think he's got the most distinctive voices. I'd like someone with a bit more, you know, a bit more. What's the word? Uniqueness, dare I say? I don't know.
Just basically go to our A-list star in our impression repertoire list and get those people to do it.
Just DM us a list, and we'll do it. You know, save some money.
Do the voices. Imagine. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to view today.
Yes, welcome to Cineworld.
I'm more of an everyman myself, but
fly, you fools, to the Odeon.
Oh God, that was a cold open there, mate. We should have saved that.
Brian Butterfield just going,
yeah.
Yes, there's new popcorn tins at the cinema. I keep mine by my bed.
Have you seen the size of the treats? It's like Saturday, because Saturday is treat day at View Cinema.
We've even got buns outside your very own Everyman Cinema. They're actually my sofas, so please give them back to me at the end of the show. My lounge is empty.
I'm having to sit on my cold floor because you stole my recliner.
I'm sitting on my hands, and they're not very warm. I wish so much. I was going to say, I hope we get to meet Peter Serafinovich one day. I forget. We already have.
Did, yeah. We literally did meet him.
If we ever get like 15 minutes with him, we must just be like, listen, you turned our lives around.
Yeah, mate. We started a podcast because of you.
Yeah, in part for sure. Anyway, sorry. Back to Lenny's email. Sorry.
Nah. I've got one more thing.
Okay. Sorry, Lenny. I guess.
Speaking of Peter Serafinovich, he's on the show that I was watching. So, there's a BBC comedy called Motherland. It's quite old now. It's like 14, 15. There's 3 seasons. It is my absolute favourite comedy TV show ever. It's hilarious. But there's a spin-off about one of the mums in that. And in it, Peter Serafinovich shows up. And he's like quite a main character in the last sort of 2 episodes. And he plays a South African like property developer. And he's got the most abysmal South African accent you've ever heard. And it's excellent. It's always nice to see him when he pops up and stuff. And I always go, oh my God, it's Brian. It's Brian Butterfield. Like, to all my family. Like, they're like, oh, that idiot that you met. Yeah.
Is Joanna Lumley in it?
Yeah, she plays the mum of the main character in it. Yeah.
Or, do you know what? Hear me out.
Yeah, too right.
Joanna Lumley, I've always found to be quite tasty.
She is like the definition of like gilf milf type thing.
Yeah.
Was she a Bond girl? No,
I'm not sure, but
not
even
Bond girl energy. Yeah,
not even when she was younger. I just like her in those Ant and Dec little sketches that they used to do on Saturday Night Takeaway. Oh my God! Like, yeah, Amelia Fox was in it from Silent Witness, but I was always like, oh, there's something about you, Joanna Lumley. I want to have a cup of tea and a slice of Battenberg, and we'll eat it from both ends. Oh.
13-year-old Adam crushing over 60, 70-year-old Joanna Lumley, right?
Joanna Lumley was my sexual awakening. No.
Anyway. Not having... Yeah, this is a Sonic review by Lenny, by the way. We've lost train of thought. Not having known much about the franchise other than the basics and a handful of lore my cousin shared before the film. Also note, I didn't see the first two, as I'm a Mario boy. But I think if I'd watched this sooner, it would have made my top 10 from last year. It was an absolute blast. Me and my friends were in stitches the whole way through, mostly at the over-the-top edginess of Shadow and, of course, Jim Carrey. I haven't laughed like this in a cinema in a while. I actually thought the action was awesome, especially Shadow and Sonic fight at the end of the film. Maybe a spoiler, but when Shadow and Sonic team up with Crush 40's Live and Learn played, I realised this is peak blockbuster cinema. Exactly how I felt while watching Godzilla and Paddington in Peru. Overall, very surprised at how much I enjoyed this, and I look forward to the next film. But when it does come out, it will have to wait, as it's releasing the same week as the next Godzilla film, which I will definitely be watching first, much to Adam's dismay. Thanks for reading, Lenny.
Lenny, you did so well in that email until the very end, and then you made me hate you. No,
I started watching Godzilla X Kong, right? Over a couple of weeks ago now. It was just on the TV, and yeah. What a film, mate, right? I watched like the first 25 minutes of it, and that was enough.
I just found it boring somehow.
It was just
I don't know how they... Yeah. Although, on his Sonic thoughts, I totally agree. I didn't gush about it enough, and I actually had to drop my Letterboxd star rating just because I felt people won't take me seriously for anything else I review. But I do genuinely think it's like a 4.5 star film. I think it's so funny. I mean, as I say, I watched it last night, actually. It was, yesterday afternoon. And man, it was a much smaller cinema room, and obviously it was like getting on to 2 months after its release, so the audience weren't quite as on board as it would have been like opening night when I last saw it, whenever. But man, I still laughed at almost every joke, and I think it's so wonderfully made to be a love letter towards Sonic fans, and they get better and better and better. And if that trajectory continues, Sonic 4 is gonna actually it's going to explode my head. Like I don't know where they go from here. I really loved it. I think Keanu Reeves is fantastic. It as Lenny says, it plays wonderfully with this. It's a quote unquote kids film, but man, it's badass and the action's great. It has one of the best speedster scenes in this. Like there's a bike chase very early on that I'm like, that's better than most superhero films in the last 10 years. And the dialogue is really funny. Jim Carrey it's like he's 25 years old. The physicality of his performance, and there's two of him, and the CGI as well. I was really looking out for it this time because I just didn't even think of it last time. I literally, like, there's even a joke where they break the fourth wall, but at no point when I was watching it for the first time was I like, I was like, yeah, two Jim Carreys, yeah, like that's two different characters. I was really keeping my eyes open, like, okay, how have they superimposed his face? Have they got a body double here? Like, obviously they have, but it's flawless. Like, it's so good. There's a moment where they touch fingers, and I'm like, how the hell are you doing that? Like, it's witchcraft, man. I'm telling you, it's so good. And there's no irony in my review for Sonic 3. I love it. It's so good. Have you seen it? You need to see it. I haven't.
I saw the joke that you posted on your Letterboxd review, which is the only clip I've seen, and it is funny. It's like, I know, grandson, a woman in the military. It's excellent.
And the audience was so dead yesterday. It made me so sad. Like, I need to watch it again with an audience that are game for it. And I just want to laugh my head off at it because I think it's wonderful. It's got heart. It's got stakes. And it does a great job of organically setting up a fourth film, and in fact more than one film after this, because it ends with such a huge change to the environment that I remember watching it and being like, oh my god, like I got the same. I know this sounds really like I'm taking the piss. I got the same sort of guttural reaction as I did, you know, in Infinity War when all of them get wiped away.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm telling you, maybe not quite to that degree, but it's heavily implied, and I don't know if this is the case, but there's something that happens at the end that opens a gateway potentially to another nearby universe, that kind of thing, like spacey sci-fi stuff. And like when that happened and it's painted across the sky of this Earth, of Earth, and everyone's looking up at it, it's like when Arashim appears in Eternals. It's like when everyone gets snaps in Endgame, in Infinity War. I'm like, oh my god, things are never going to be the same again. But like not in a way like if Jurassic World went human hybrids, because that I'd also get that gut punch. But that would be like, oh god, things are never going to be the same again. This is things are never going to be the same again. Like. You've gone mental. I've got Lego Sonic set right here.
You got it. Nice. You said you were going to.
I've got 5 of the McDonald's little toys that they've done, like little balls. Sonic ball. I've got Sonic's balls here. I've got a Sonic paper poster. That also, just as a final note, what did strike me when I was watching it is you're a fan of Cars 2, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
This film is better than, unequivocally better than Sonic 3 quality wise. Cars 2, I won't take any slander on that front. Michael Caine as Finn McMissile was inspired and he was snubbed. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting carried away. This poster made me realise that see what you've done, Lenny. This poster made me realise that it's got the same locations as Cars 2 because they start out. I know there's no America. Oh no, there is American Cars 2 because that's where. Yeah, of course. So you've got America. Then they go to Tokyo very early on, as they do in Cars 2, and they end the film in London.
No
even
way.
with the same landmarks. So I'm like, this is Cars 2, almost. They don't go to Italy. I'll say that. I don't believe they go to Italy. Although there is a fight that does take place across the globe. I'm telling you, the stakes are that big. So at some point, I'm sure they do go to Italy because they definitely go to Egypt. Anyway, I'm finished.
Some music there, nice. Excellent. Just before we finish, I want to tell you that when I was going to watch Conclave yesterday, I was stood behind a couple of people waiting to get in. Had my ticket at the ready to scan. I had what did I have in one? I had a coffee in one hand, sparkling water in the other, which everyone took the piss out of me on Saturday. We all went for drinks, and I said I take sparkling water to the cinema, and they all laughed at me. I had my sparkling water, and the elderly couple in front of me, I'm gonna say older than 70, because my grandparents are 70 and they looked older than my grandparents, so I think this couple might have been 80, and they showed their ticket to the man there. He's very friendly, he's always there, nice friendly guy, and he was like, yep, lovely, that's screen 4, that's 2 of you for Baby Girl. And I just saw this 80-year-old couple walking hand in hand down the corridor to go watch Baby Girl, the film that starts with an orgasm from Nicole Kidman, and escalates from there. But it just, it tickled me knowing that they were going to go sit in this film and watch that at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon.
Do you reckon they would have enjoyed that?
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because you can't judge people on age. You really cannot. But I'm gonna, because they looked very like if one set of my grandparents went and saw that film, I think they'd like it and enjoy it, just because they're a different style of grandparent, if you get what I mean. But if my other grandparents went and saw it, they'd be like leaving. They'd walk out halfway through, or 5 minutes in. And from the way this couple looked, they looked so stereotypical, like old, sort of cutesy grandma. So I cannot imagine they sat through and watched it. But what on earth possessed them to book a ticket without at least watching a trailer? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe they don't have Wi-Fi at their house, and that's a bigger discussion for another day. But I'd like to think that they either loved it and took notes and implemented all that when they got home, or
The old lady's on her knees right now,
barking like a dog.
drinking milk out of a saucer on the floor.
Actually horrible. Yeah, either that or they're both dead now. I guess they just died in their seat. I don't know.
Died in climaxing,
Oh well, and there's a happy ending. Let's wrap this up.
Thank you for listening to the podcast today. I'm aware that we do actually have a couple of new listeners, because I made them do a review of the podcast, and through doing that, they've actually started listening. So from what I'm aware, we've actually got a couple of new listeners. So please email in. We would love to actually have a bit at the end of the podcast where we interact with people. As much as I love Lenny, he is my brother, we only get emails from Lenny and occasionally Josh. So honestly, just email in, tell us what films you've been seeing, what film you'd love to win Best Picture at the Oscar, anything like that. Please email in. It's hello@movieonup.com.
Absolutely, please do. You can also get in contact with the show via Instagram and TikTok. The handles for both of those platforms are @movieonup.
Thank you for listening. What are we reviewing next week, Adam? I think it's a quiet week.
Yeah, it's the calm before the storm, I suppose. It depends when we record. Probably Wednesday night. Listeners, you don't care. That's just a bit of BTS planning there. I think I might see Love Hurts, that new film with Ki Hoi Kwan. It's got apparently shocking reviews, but it's Ki Hoi Kwan. How bad can it be?
22% on Rotten Tomatoes, bad apparently.
Yeah. Well, I'll be the judge of that. So
Dog
there's
Man.
that as a cutesy Valentine's film. Dog Man, well, maybe.
I'll probably try go see Companion, the Jack Quaid, Sophie Thatcher,
that'd be
Rupert
good.
Friend one. I think that's probably the only film that would be worth watching, unless you want to catch Flight Risk with Mark Wahlberg, which apparently is god awful. But either way,
I have booked in to see Here. That's the other thing. So we could do a bit of a Valentine's Day special next week, couldn't we? As it will come out on Valentine's Day. So
oh yeah, of course.
There
And
we
there's
are.
Love Eyes, Heart Eyes. What's that one called as well? The horror.
Yeah, some slasher film. Yeah, I mean, that all goes to say, I think this podcast or next episode's podcast will be absolutely fantastic to soundtrack your lovemaking session on Valentine's Day. So, if you haven't already, give this podcast a 5-star rating and add it to your lovemaking playlist.
Catch us in the bedroom next week.